Hi, I'm Donnie Luckett, and you're here with Cultures TV, your global diversity resource. Today we're speaking with Sydney Shales. Did I say your name correctly?
Yes.
Okay, good. I was wondering. Sydney Shales, and we're going to talk about her cultural mobility, how she grew up, and how that has affected her worldview. Sydney has a very unique family that is perfect for today's modern world. So, Sydney, how are you?
I'm good. I'm
Great.
doing great.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
So, yeah, tell us a little bit about your family that I love so much.
So, you're right. We do have the definition of a modern family. My stepdad is Hispanic. My stepbrother is Hispanic as well, and my half-brother is Hispanic. So, my parents actually met in college. I was 3 years old at the time, and my older brother was 4. And so they met at Fort Hays University, and they both grew up in Kansas. My mom grew up in Colby, Kansas. He grew up in Garden, Kansas, which is about a 53% Hispanic population. And so they met, and they ended up getting married a couple years later, and Bryce was born. So yeah, that's kind of
And
how.
Bryce is your younger brother.
Yeah, he's the youngest.
But your stepdad actually is a TCK. He was born in
Yes.
Mexico and
Yes.
came over here, correct?
Yeah, he was born in Chihuahua, Mexico, and they migrated over when he was about 6 years old. It essentially, his mother was a teacher, and they made a really good salary at the time, but his dad wanted to be kind of a big shot, and so decided they were going to move to the United States, and he actually swam the Rio Grande. Swam the Rio Grande
I
River.
always thought you were joking when you said
I am not joking, even a little bit.
at 6 years old he swam the Rio
His
Grande.
dad swam it,
Okay.
and they went to the border, and the immigration totally knew that they were going to, leave and never come back. And he said he remembers his mom saying, yeah, we're going to visit some family. My husband's already over here. And the guy was just kind of like, I know you're not going to come back. He was like, all right, and just stamped their stuff, and they never went back.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the dad did this all happen at the same time, or did the dad go first? And
He
then-
went first.
Okay, okay.
So he could go kind of settle a little bit, get a job and everything.
Wow.
And yeah, and they all followed. So
Wow.
yeah.
So then, flash forward to college, your parents met, and now your mom had you, your stepdad had his son, and they came together and had Bryce, which
Yes.
is your younger brother.
And then about a month after Bryce was born, we moved to Colorado. So my mom had 6-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a newborn baby. And they had nothing. We had nothing. We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment with 5 people. And they really just worked their way up. And I'm lucky that they've become so successful. It's been really great and inspiring to watch it all happen, from the ground up.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So I love your story, and I feel like it's a modern family for a number of reasons, because it's his, hers, and ours. So, and you all really just consider yourself siblings. It's not really like siblings either.
Yeah.
And also the cultural diversity. So Kansas is culturally diverse, probably more than people realize, but you wouldn't think about it. It's like, oh, how did you come together from there? And to have your father, who does understand the Mexican culture, but then he also is very rooted in the United States because he came here at 6. As you got to know cultures and we got to know each other and I got to know your family, he had no clue that he had these TCK traits. And that's often something that I find in interviews. People don't realize until you look back. It's like, oh, this happened to me. Oh yeah, that's part of being a TCK. So when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about how it affected you and your growing up and how it's changed your perspective on life. So we'll be right back.